let's take a dive into another feature of the employee module, and that's the asset register feature. Now, by default, your organization may not have this turned on. So if you don't see a menu item for asset register, you can just go to administration, features, and there's the option here for asset register. Just ensure this is turned on. But in our case, it's on. So let's just go ahead and see what this page is. So what the asset register does is that it allows you to track your company's assets, your organization's assets, especially those that you're giving out to team members, so you can know, hey, how many assets did we purchase, who are the team members that currently have them, what are the conditions that they were given, and what, when you do get them back from team members, what are the conditions that you receive them. So we did buy a couple of phones, right? And the company bought some Xiaomi Poco X6 phones that were given to our team. So let's go ahead and register this, and we'll say that it's Xiaomi Poco X6, and we can categorize this as computers and electronics. And what's the code for this? Let's just say this is X6001. Serial number is not required. And let's go ahead and assign to each one of our employees, right? So let's say that this is something that, let's start with Jenny, and we'll say that on May 1st, Jenny was assigned this phone. Right, so you'll see here that the asset register now have an asset. And if we had another phone, let's say another Xiaomi Poco X6, again, computers and electronics, and let's call this X6002, we can also save a device that is not assigned. So you'll see that, hey, we have this device was assigned, and this one was assigned to Jenny. This one is here, it's still, and it's not assigned. The one that's assigned to Jenny, you now have the options to return it, right? So actually, to go through this return functionality, let's just take a step back and review an old employee. So if you remember, James was here before, James 007, he's now resigned, of course, but James was James' job was taken over by Jimmy, right? And when James was working, James had a Dell laptop. So let's go ahead and register that, and it was a Dell Inspiron 2000. Again, computers and electronics. Let's just say this is DI 2000-001, and we'll say, hey, this was assigned to James, but hey, what's happening there? We don't have the ability to backdate, and this is one of the protection features that is there in Techtify HR. So you want to ensure that as you're adding assets, as you give access to employees, rather, you add them into the system, right? However, let's put this to Jimmy, because this was given to Jimmy, and Jimmy had joined. When did Jimmy join? So let's pull up Jimmy's profile quickly. So Jimmy joined on May 1st. So when Jimmy joined on May the 1st, this was assigned to him, and we can say that the condition, I do have a few notes here, and let's just make a note that this was handed over from James 007, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and save that. Good. So Jimmy was given this, right? And we have, this is how you can basically manage assets to for employees. And let's go ahead and add a couple more. Pat is also a software engineer in the company, and when she joined on January 1st, she got a MacBook Air, again MBA 001, and this was assigned to Pat, right? And she joined on January 1st, so she got this, right? And it was in brand new condition. Good. However, if you remember, Pat got promoted to senior software engineer sometime later in the year, right? So here we go. And this is one of the benefits of having this record. So Pat got promoted to senior software engineer on May 24th. Now, when Pat got promoted to senior software engineer, she had to return the MacBook Air because she was then assigned a MacBook Pro. All right, so Pat got promoted to senior software engineer. She was assigned again on May 21st. Right, so we have a MacBook Pro 01, and this was assigned to Pat. Yeah, Pat gets all the good stuff here on May 24th and brand new. And on the same day, Pat needed to return this MacBook Air, so we can see that again May 21st, and it was returned in excellent condition. Now, a couple of things happens here. One, you see the MacBook Pro is now assigned to Pat, and you can see that the MacBook Air is not assigned, and you have the ability to assign it to a new employee. There is a reassignment form as well, so if you receive this device from an employee, or this asset rather, and is immediately given to another employee, there's a reassign form where you can say, hey, it was returned on this date in this condition, and we assign it to the new employee. There is one other thing on the asset register, again coming along with the trend that everything is tracked in Techlify EHR. Let's go and view this MacBook Pro, the MacBook Air rather, and here you will see that there will be a full history of everything for this asset. So you'll see there's currently no assignment, but we can see the full details that, hey, it was previously assigned to Pat from January 1st to May 21st, and then it was assigned brand new and it was returned in excellent condition. And as an asset might be assigned to an employee and returned, that history is always tracked in Techlify EHR. So this is a really good way to manage and track all of your assets within your organization.